All right. I had paused on the top of page 102 just to briefly talk about epithets because we're going to have a lot through here. And as I was saying, they are terms or phrases used to describe a character or characterize the nature of an event or object or even a character. So, some examples of epithets. I guess I will do a duplicate slide and boom. So we have rosy fingered dawn over and over again. You can probably tell how I'm sick of that. Sparkling eyed or gray eyed, and whether or not Athena is there. Sometimes it's just the sparkling eyed goddess or the gray eyed goddess. Remember back the nymph with the lovely braids? That was Calypso. We have white-armed Nausicaa now. So, a couple reasons why you would have an epithet instead of just saying the character's name. It fills out a line, it matches the meter, and it gives you some more description. So we have Nausicaa of the white arms. All right, and then we have a Homeric simile right away too, because Nausicaa is somewhat being compared to Artemis and her arrows and how fast she goes and that kind of thing. So take a look. It's page 102, line 110. So Artemis goes flying after her arrows flown down some tremendous valley side. Taygetus, Erymanthus, chasing the mountain goats or ghosting deer, with nymphs of the wild places flanking her. And Leto's heart delights to see them running, for taller by a head than nymphs can be, the goddess shows more stately, all being beautiful. So one could tell the princess from the maids. So she stands out, she's fast, she's beautiful. Soon it was time, she knew, for riding homeward, mules to be harnessed, linen folded smooth, but the gray-eyed goddess Athena made her tarry, so that Odysseus might behold her beauty and win her guidance to the town. It happened when the king's daughter threw her ball off line and missed, and put it in the whirling stream, at which they all gave such a shout. Odysseus awoke and sat up, saying to himself, "Now by my life, mankind again. But who? Savages are they? Strangers to courtesy? Or gentlefolk who know and fear the gods?" That was a lusty cry of tall young girls, most like the cry of nymphs who haunt the peaks or springs of brooks and inland grassy places. Or am I amid people of human speech? Up again, man, and let me see for myself. So he talks to himself. And in his conversation here, he's just trying to figure out, are these gods, goddesses, nymphs, or human beings? Page 103. He pushed aside the bushes, breaking off with his great hand a single branch of olive, whose leaves might shield him in his nakedness. Oh, yeah, little side note here. He tossed off the cloak that Calypso had given him, and so he's naked. And so he breaks off an olive branch and walks forward with the olive branch, hiding him. Oh, Homeric simile time, too. So came out rustling like a mountain lion, rain-drenched, wind-buffeted, but in his might at ease, with burning eyes, who prowls among the herds or flocks or after game, his hungry belly, taking him near stout homesteads for his prey. Odysseus had this look in his rough skin, advancing on the girls with pretty braids. And he was driven by hunger too. Streaked with brine and swollen, he terrified them so that they fled this way and that. Pretty good Homeric simile because it compares him to a mountain lion. He's starving, he's hunting, he looks pretty wild, so he's coming out and the girls all scatter. So it matches up really well. Only Alcinous's daughter stood her ground, being given a bold heart by Athena and steady knees. Okay, so again, we see that she was able to drive the mule cart by herself, and now we see her standing there, not running off like the other maids, so she's pretty courageous. She faced him, waiting, and Odysseus came, debating inwardly what he should do. Embrace this beauty's knees in supplication? Or stand apart and using honeyed speech inquire the way to town and beg some clothing? In his swift reckoning, he thought it best to trust in words to please her and keep away. He might anger the girl touching her knees, so he began and let the soft words fall. Mistress, please, are you divine or mortal? If one of those who dwell in the wide heaven, you are most near to Artemis, I should say, great Zeus's daughter, in your grace and presence. If you are one of earth's inhabitants, how blessed your father and your gentle mother, blessed all your kin. I know what happiness must send the warm tears to their eyes each time they see their wondrous child go to the dancing. Okay, guys, so if you ever need something to say to a beautiful girl, memorize that speech. But one man's destiny is more than blessed, he who prevails and takes you as his bride. Never have I laid eyes on equal beauty in man or woman. I am hushed indeed. So fair. One time I thought a young palm tree at Delos near the altar of Apollo. I had troops under me when I was there on the sea route that later brought me grief, but that slim palm tree filled my heart with wonder. Never came shoot from earth so beautiful. So now, my lady, I stand in awe so great. I cannot take your knees, and yet my case is desperate. 20 days yesterday in the wine dark sea, on the ever lunging swell under gale winds, getting away from the island of Ogygia, and now the terror of storm has left me stranded upon this shore, with more blows yet to suffer, I must believe, before the gods relent. All right, I'm not sure about him comparing her to a tree, but the rest of it wasn't bad. And now he's giving his story as to why he's there. Mistress, do me a kindness. After much weary toil, I come to you, and you are the first soul I have seen. I know no others here. Direct me to the town. Give me a rag that I can throw around me, some cloth or wrapping that you have brought along, and may the gods accomplish your desire, a home, a husband, and harmonious converse with him, the best thing in the world being a strong house held in serenity, where man and wife agree. Woe to their enemies, joy to their friends, but all this they know best. Then she of the white arms, Nausicaa, replied, Stranger, there is no quirk or evil in you that I can see. You know Zeus metes out fortune to good and bad men as it pleases him. Hardship he has sent you, and you must bear it. But now that you have taken refuge here, you shall not lack for clothing or any other comfort due to a poor man in distress. The town lies this way, and the men are called Phaeacians, who own the land and city. I am daughter to the Princess Cineas, by whom the power of our people stands. Turning, she called out to her maids in waiting, Stay with me! Does the sight of a man scare you, or do you take this one for an enemy? Why, there's no fool so brash and never will be as to bring war or pillage to this coast, for we are dear to the immortal gods living here in the sea that rolls forever, distant from other lands and other men. So she calls her maids back and she basically says she's not worried about any attacks. The gods truly favor the Phaeacians, and they are distant enough from any other lands that nobody's really going to attack them. So they're in good shape. No, this man is a castaway, poor fellow. We must take care of him. Strangers and beggars come from Zeus. A small gift then is friendly. So there's that religious principle again, that if somebody comes as a stranger or a beggar, it could be the gods in disguise, so give them hospitality. Give our new guest some food and drink and take him into the river out of the wind to bathe. They stood up now and called to one another to go on back. Quite soon they led Odysseus under the river bank as they were bidden, and there laid out a tunic and a cloak. They gave him olive oil in the golden flask. Here, they said, go bathe in the flowing water. But heard now from that kingly man Odysseus, Maids, he said, keep away a little. Let me wash the brine from my own back and rub on plenty of oil. It is long since my anointing. I take no bath, however, where you can see me naked before young girls with pretty braids. So he's being discreet and gentlemanly. Good for him.